Greetings and salutations, friends. My name is Ariana, and today I'm going to talk about something that I'm sure some people have already talked about, but I just feel like there are some things I wanted to say about the matter if they even come across as coherent, so let's go. Yesterday, I saw a tweet that goes like this. As the world shuts down and people turn to film, television, music, podcasts, and books for entertainment and comfort and sanity, I hope most take note that we do in fact need the arts. And as an artist, that stood out to me because especially in this day and age when AI and its predominance in the workplace is beginning to take form and emerge, I think a lot of people are worried. I think a lot of people in the workplace are worried that they're not going to be needed because a robot can do their job more efficiently and cheaper than they can. And something artists, I guess the topic that artists have prided themselves on is like a robot could never do what we do. And I'm reminded of this quote in the film Before Midnight, where they're all talking about this sort of virtual reality that's taking form, and someone asked Jesse, one of the main characters, what are you going to do when you as a writer, what are you going to do when a computer can write a better book than War and Peace? And some of them come to the conclusion that that'll never happen. A robot lacks the ineffable human instinct. And though that does sound a little bit pretentious, and a lot of people think it does, as an artist, I have to believe that that's true, because we want to believe that we are needed. And this isn't to establish any sort of superiority over people in the workplace who aren't artists. It's not to say, haha, I'm going to still have a job and you're not. It's more of the irony that people who say they want to be artists are looked down upon because their job lacks stability or it's not quote-unquote serious, and yet we, in this time, in the midst of all of this chaos, art remains. And it's sad. It's sad that people have been laid off and lost their jobs, but it is nice to see people reestablishing their relationships with the arts, and even I have been doing so. As a writer, I would typically go to films, and I would just watch a bunch of films, and then that was my priority, and then in the midst of that I would just never read, even though reading was what made me want to be a writer in the first place. And so I've taken this quarantine as a way to read more and make reading a priority in my life instead of movies, because I know that once this quarantine ends, it'll be more likely that I will go back to watching movies unless I reestablish my need for books in this time. And I think one of the major issues I'm trying to talk about here is the fact that people need the arts. Once again, not to say that artists are superior because our field remains. It's more, art is not for the artists. Art is for the people. It always has been. And so when people hold on to the arts dearly, robots can never take away what was never theirs to begin with, what they'll never understand. And I think that's why we need to appreciate the arts so much more now. And it's funny that this is happening in a time that I'm thinking these thoughts when last week, or about 2 weeks ago, my high school that I graduated from suspended the musical that was supposed to happen because of Corona. But the issue was, the day of their Friday show, there were 2 sports games which were allowed to continue while their Friday show was canceled. And we were in uproar. We couldn't believe, actually, we weren't surprised that once again the arts were disregarded in the face of my former principal, because that's happened consistently throughout my high school career, and even now that I'm not even there, the arts are dismissed. My film class, it was a Film 1 and Film 2 program, was removed completely. And even when I and another student pleaded to one of the administrators with a petition signed by hundreds of students begging to at least keep one class, we were dismissed. And the look on the administrator's face when we expressed to him just how many things of purpose and value we did in that class, the look of shock on his face as if we thought that we only watched movies, as if just watching movies alone wasn't enough, wasn't of value. And so it hurts and pains my heart to see the arts consistently dismissed, and yet what are people left holding on to in this time? So those are just my 2 cents about the value of the arts in this time and how scary it is to see something so human and so devoted to being human and capturing humanity be disregarded time and time again, and yet look at what people are falling back in love with and learning to reappreciate. And I just hope that this hunger for the arts and this understanding of its value remains even once the quarantine is over. So that's all I have to say about that. I hope that was coherent. I don't know. If it made any sense to you, let me know. And if you're an artist of any kind and you have any art you'd like to share, please feel free to link it below or share with us what you've been working on. Or even if you're not an artist but you are just an admirer of the arts in any way, share with us what you've been watching, reading, painting, or admiring in terms of painting. Whatever it is, just let me know. And my heart goes out to everyone at this time. Thanks.